The technology industry once represented a golden promise. It was a world of innovation, stability, and, well, seemingly endless opportunity. For years, securing a job at a major tech company was seen as a ticket to a secure and prosperous future, a place where smart people could build amazing things and be rewarded for it. But today, that golden promise is showing deep cracks. A massive wave of layoffs has swept through the sector, shaking the foundations of what many believed was an invincible industry. The numbers alone paint a stark and unsettling picture of this new reality. Since the beginning of 2022, the industry has shed hundreds of thousands of jobs, a scale of job loss that is honestly hard to comprehend. This is not a small correction or a minor downturn affecting only a few companies. It is a widespread, systemic shift. Globally, approximately 500,000 tech workers have found themselves without a job since the trend began. The cuts have continued relentlessly into this year, 2025. Just halfway through the year, we have already seen over 22,000 people laid off from some of the biggest and most powerful names in the business. These are not struggling startups, they are industry giants. Companies like Microsoft, Google, and Intel, once seen as the safest of bets for a lifelong career, are now regularly announcing significant workforce reductions, leaving a trail of uncertainty and anxiety in their wake. The sheer scale of these layoffs sends a clear and chilling message to the entire workforce. For example, Microsoft has cut more than 6,500 positions, while Intel's reductions have impacted over 21,000 employees. Even Google, a company famous for its employee perks and culture of retention, has let go of hundreds of people in targeted cuts. These are not just statistics on a spreadsheet. Each number represents a person, a family, and a future suddenly thrown into question. The steady stream of bad news has created a constant state of anxiety, where even the most secure-feeling employees wonder if their job will be the next one to disappear from the organizational chart. What was once a career path defined by optimism and growth is now marked by a pervasive sense of instability. The dream of a stable tech job has been replaced by the harsh reality that no one is truly safe. This abrupt change has forced a dramatic re-evaluation of what it means to work in technology today. The industry that once prided itself on changing the world is now undergoing a painful transformation of its own. The core belief that loyalty and hard work would be rewarded with long-term security has been shattered, leaving many to wonder what the future holds in this rapidly changing landscape. The impact of these widespread layoffs goes far beyond the loss of a paycheck and benefits. For many tech workers, their job was a significant part of their identity. They were drawn to the industry not just for the money, but for the chance to be part of something innovative and meaningful. They believed they were contributing to projects that would shape the future. Now that sense of purpose has been replaced by feelings of disillusionment and alienation. The sudden and often impersonal nature of the layoffs has left many feeling like they are just disposable cogs in a machine, easily replaced when corporate priorities shift. This emotional fallout is really profound and long-lasting. This shift in feeling has led many to adopt a much more transactional view of their careers. The idea of being loyal to a single company for years has faded. Instead, many workers now see their job as just work, a means to an end rather than a source of personal fulfillment. They are focusing more on their own lives, hobbies, and families, building an identity separate from their professional role. Researchers have called this phenomenon cruel optimism, describing how the bright promise of a fulfilling tech career has soured, leaving behind a sense of betrayal. The trust that once existed between employees and employers has been severely damaged, perhaps even permanently. The practical consequences are just as difficult to navigate. A sudden job loss means scrambling to pay mortgages, cover bills, and support families in an increasingly expensive world. The competition for new roles has become incredibly fierce, with thousands of highly qualified people applying for the same limited number of positions. This creates immense pressure and anxiety. People who once felt secure in their skills and experience now find themselves questioning their value in the job market. The process of searching for a new job is draining, filled with applications, interviews, and the constant fear of rejection, all while financial resources dwindle. This emotional and financial strain is managed largely in isolation. While thousands share the same experience, the journey often feels incredibly lonely. People cope as best they can, but the lack of collective support structures makes it harder. The tech industry's competitive culture has not traditionally fostered strong unions or collective action, leaving individuals to face the fallout on their own. This isolation compounds the stress, making it difficult for people to process what has happened and plan for what comes next. The human cost is a quiet crisis happening in homes and on screens across the world, far from the corporate headquarters that made the decisions. The primary driver behind this tidal wave of layoffs is a profound strategic pivot happening across the industry. The race to dominate artificial intelligence. Companies are aggressively reallocating resources, moving money and manpower away from established product lines and into AI research and development. This isn't just about cutting costs, it's about fundamentally restructuring the workforce for a future that they believe will be defined by automation and intelligent systems. In a June 2025 statement, Amazon's CEO made it clear that AI is expected to reduce our total workforce in the coming years, signaling a deliberate strategy to replace human workers with technology. This strategic shift means that certain roles are becoming obsolete. The layoffs are not random, they are highly targeted. We are seeing significant cuts in middle management, as well as in non-coding departments like marketing, human resources, and legal. For instance, companies like Chegg, an education technology firm, explicitly cited competition from AI tools as the reason for cutting 22% of its staff. The skills that are in demand are changing rapidly. There is now a massive premium on expertise in AI, machine learning, and automation, while the value of non-technical roles is being called into question. Companies are simultaneously laying off thousands while aggressively hiring for these new, specialized AI-focused positions. There is a heated debate among experts about who is most at risk in this new AI-driven era. Some, like the CEO of AI company Anthropic, predict that entry-level white-collar jobs could be the first to go, with AI capable of automating up to half of these roles within the next 5 years. These are the jobs that often involve routine data processing and communication, tasks that large language models are becoming increasingly good at. This creates a terrifying prospect for young people just starting their careers, as the traditional entry points into the industry may soon disappear, making it much harder to get a foot in the door. On the other hand, some experts believe that more experienced workers could be just as vulnerable, if not more so. The COO of OpenAI has suggested that tenured employees with deeply ingrained routines and established workflows may struggle to adapt as AI fundamentally disrupts how work gets done. Their years of experience in traditional methods could become a liability rather than an asset in a world that demands constant adaptation to new technologies. This division of opinion highlights the deep uncertainty facing the entire workforce. It seems no one, from the new graduate to the seasoned veteran, is completely safe from the disruptive power of AI. The relentless cycle of layoffs has permanently tarnished the once shiny reputation of the tech industry. The image of tech careers as stable, lucrative, and personally fulfilling has been shattered. The sector that promised to build a better world is now seen by many of its own workers as a place of instability and ruthless profit-seeking. This erosion of trust is a significant crisis for an industry that relies on attracting the brightest minds. The fundamental contract between employer and employee, work hard and you will be rewarded with security, has been broken, and people are now questioning the very nature of their relationship with their work. In the face of this new reality, affected workers are searching for ways to cope and push for change. While many are dealing with the fallout individually, there is a growing conversation about the need for systemic solutions. The idea of a human-centered future is gaining traction, a vision where companies are encouraged or even required to prioritize the well-being of their workers over short-term profits. This includes calls for more transparency in layoff decisions, better severance packages, and stronger support systems for displaced employees. The conversation around unionization is also growing, though enthusiasm remains mixed in a culture that has long celebrated individualism and competition. To build a more resilient and fair future, several key changes are needed. Companies must invest in reskilling and upskilling their existing workforce, providing clear pathways for employees to adapt to the rise of AI, rather than simply replacing them. Governments and educational institutions also have a critical role to play, creating programs that prepare people for the jobs of the future and providing a stronger social safety net for those in transition. This includes exploring ideas like portable benefits that are not tied to a single employer and modernizing unemployment systems to better support a more fluid and dynamic labor market. Ultimately, the path forward requires a new social contract for the age of AI. Technology should be a tool to augment human capability, not just replace it. A hopeful future is one where the immense profits and productivity gains from AI are shared more equitably, leading to better working conditions for everyone. This could mean shorter work weeks, more flexible arrangements, and a renewed focus on work that requires uniquely human skills like creativity, critical thinking, and empathy. The current crisis, as painful as it is, presents an opportunity to redefine our relationship with work and build an economy that is not only more productive, but also more humane.